Alright, so now we're going to solve equations. Check for extraneous solutions comes into play when you are solving equations with logs in them. So anytime I have the word log or natural log, that's when I need to remember to go back and check for extraneous and round to 3 decimal places. So this does not have the word log in it. The x is in the exponent, which means it's an exponential. I can't get anything else away from it. So now I need to take this out of the exponent, and to do that I'm going to do the inverse and rewrite it as a log. So I have log base 5 of 12 equals x. And I can just type this side in my calculator. And when I do that, I get a number that rounds to 1.544 because I rounded out 3 decimal places. Okay, so for the next one, again, so I'm going to look and see where's my x, and my x is in the exponent, so I'm solving an exponential. And I can't rewrite this yet because there's a minus 7 in the way. So I'm trying to get this by itself, so first thing I'm going to do is move 7 to the other side. There's my equal sign. So I have 3 to the 4x equals 27. Okay, and my next step, now that the exponential part is by itself, is to do the inverse and rewrite. So I get log base 3 of 27 equals 4x. When I do that, I can type this in my calculator, or I can know that 3 to the third power is 27, so the answer is 3. I'm trying to get x by itself still, so I should divide both sides by 4, and x is equal to 4 over 3. Alright, so I'm going to go back and try to find the x, and the x is right here in the exponential, so I need to move everything away from it. So in order to do that, I'm going to first move the 3, and I get 1/2 times 10 to the 2x minus 3 is equal to 16. Then I need to get rid of the 1/2, so I'm going to divide both sides by 1/2. And when I divide 16 by 1/2, I get 32. So now I need to rewrite and do the inverse. So I get log base 10, because the exponential is by itself. So I get log base 10 of 32 equals 2x. And I'm going to type that in my calculator. And I get a decimal. 1.505-ish. Okay, so now I'm going to leave that number in my calculator and just hit divide by 2. And when I do that, I get x is about 0.753 because I round out to 3 places. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to find the x, and the x is right here inside the log. So I'm going to try to get the log by itself. So first thing I need to do is move 4 to the other side. And then when I do that, I'm left with log base 4 of 3x equals 6. So I can't get in here to the log. I can't type this in my calculator because there's an x in there, so I'm going to have to do the rewrite. And so when I rewrite something from a log to an exponential, I should no longer have the word log. That's why I did it. So now I'm going to rewrite and get 4 to the 6th power equals 3x. And 4 to the 6th power I'm going to type in my calculator. Divide both sides by 3. And it gives me a decimal, or a fraction, a decimal that can be turned into a fraction, or maybe it can't. Nope, looks like it can. So I get 1,365.3 repeating about 3 decimal places. So I'm going to search and find out where the x is in this one, and it is inside the log. So I'm going to try to get this whole thing by itself, which means I need to move 4 to the other side. So when I do that, I have log base 9 of 3x minus 7 equals 2. And I can't move the 7 or the 3 because it's inside the log. So I need to rewrite to get rid of the log and find the inverse. So I would do 9 squared equals that. So 9 to the second power is equal to 3x minus 7. 9 to the second power is 81. And so then I would continue to solve, add 7, 88 equals 3x, divide both sides by 3, and x is 88 over 3. That's my answer. And the next one. So I'm trying to, again, get log by itself. I have an x in here and an x in here, and there's 2 logs on this side, so I can't drop them because I don't have log equals log. So what I need to do is condense them. See, I know how to turn that into one log by doing what we did on number 4 and using my condensing rules. So there's 2 logs being added together, and if you remember the condensing rules, addition is multiplication. So I can actually multiply these two. So it would be log base 2 of 2x times x equals 5. And 2x times x is 2x squared. So now I have log by itself, and I can't move this 2 or this square until I get rid of the word log, so I'm going to have to rewrite, and I get 2 to the 5th power equals 2x squared. 2 to the 5th power is 32. Still trying to get x by itself. I have to move the 2 because it's not being squared. And I get 16 equals x squared. And then to get rid of square, I have to square root, but don't forget to do plus or minus the square root, and you get plus or minus 4. Now I do have to go back and check my answers and make sure that they're not extraneous. And I didn't check it on the last one on here, but it was not extraneous. It didn't give me 0 or a negative on the inside. But when I go to back here to plug in positive 4, that would be a positive number because it would be positive 8. Go in here to plug in positive 4, that would be a positive number. That's not because it's positive 4. If I go back here and I plug in negative 4, then I have negative 4 times 2, which is negative 8. So I'd be taking the log of a negative number, which makes negative 4 extraneous. Same thing here. If I put a negative 4 here, that would give me an error because it's negative. Also, if it was 0, it would give me an error. So that is also extraneous. So the only answer to this question is 4, because negative 4 is extraneous. Okay, so I added this question in as a bonus just because I noticed when we were going through them that there weren't any natural logs on here, so I wanted to go through what a natural log is. So again, here's the x. It's inside the natural log, so I want to move everything away from that. My first step would be to move the plus 5, and I get 2 times natural log of 3x equals 16. Divide by 2, because that's out in front of the natural log, it's not inside of it, so I can get rid of it. And I have natural log of 3x equals 8. So now natural log is the same thing as writing log base e. So I haven't changed anything. I haven't done the inverse. I haven't rewritten. I'm just saying that natural log is the same thing as that. So I needed to know that because now that I have the log by itself, I need to do the inverse. And so I have e to the 8th power equals 3x. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to type in e to the 8th power into my calculator. And that gives me 2,980.957 or 958. So what I get there equals 3x, and then you're going to divide both sides by 3, and my answer is about